So the ghost story starts with on my dad's side. My dad's side is called the Gulas. We are a group of Cajuns. You know, the poor French people came down to America, blah, 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 blah. Well, the first people that moved down to America of the Gulas family were poor farmers. You know, they sold their crops to make money. They didn't have a lot. And to make sure that they could keep their crops in check, they wanted a scarecrow. These farmers were very superstitious, and in fact, they believed that scarecrows were usually things that held demons, and that's why I was able to keep crows away. So they prayed over it a lot, and they did some weird things to it, which we don't exactly know of, but mine can go wild, I guess. Well, they had the farm for about 2 years, and then the town that they lived by, I think it was in Louisiana, they said. In Louisiana, the people of the town noticed that they haven't heard anything from them in a while, so they went to go check it out, checked on the farm. They weren't in their house, their cars were still in the driveway. One thing they noticed, though, is that there was a section of the crops that were flattened, I guess is the term. They were pushed down, and when they checked that flat area, they found my early ancestors. Of course, they're old. They already had their kids, but they were old. They were like in their 80s. They found them, and they found the scarecrow also there. But it wasn't on the pole. It was just sitting in between them. Again, the mind goes wild, and people have been assuming that the scarecrow was cursed and that it killed them. People also believe that it wasn't them and something, maybe a sickness or something, and one of them just actually knocked down the scarecrow and coincidentally ended up like that. I don't know. But a lot of people in that side of the family say that a lot of them have dreams of the scarecrow. And the scarecrow tells them one thing about their lives. I haven't had the dream yet. My father hasn't. But a lot of people in the family say they have. The most interesting one of the person having the dream was that the scarecrow talked about something about cars. It was very short. It was like a sentence long. In that same month, that person who had that dream got into a car crash. He was perfectly fine, but he saw it as like a warning then.
I don't think it's that, honestly.
And that's kind of my story.
I believe in them, but I've never had any experiences. No, I did. I do have an experience. My ex-girlfriend, we went to her house. Apparently her house was haunted. Somebody had died in it before. Me and a bunch of friends, we all got together. We went to sit in the back room. That's where he died. And we did an EVP session there. And by the time we were done, we walked out. One of the girls like, my arm kind of hurts. We looked at her arm. She had scratches all down her arm. It's kind of freaky.
Oh, I've actually done some paranormal investigation myself. You know, you take out the gear and the recorder and stuff, and you go and sit somewhere completely spooky, which used to be my old house. And you just get the EVP machine going, and you just listen for things and talk and whatnot. And you don't always hear or see something, but when you play it back, you hear people answering your questions in the background. It's really weird. I also have it's like a frequency scanner that scans through radio stations without an interruption, and it can pick up white noise. And I have a noise reduction pedal from a guitar and a reverb pedal from a guitar that are plugged into this amplifier. And the sound that goes through it, if anything, I mean, it scans at about 3 channels a second, maybe more, so you shouldn't really get any speech. But you hear people talk, and they're really strange voices that come through. It's bizarre. You've got to hear it to believe it. It's incredible. We'd set the recorder up in a separate room, and we were talking in another room. And my sister-in-law's very into a paranormal, so she helped me get into it a bit. And we're just talking away, happy as anything. And you hear us say, hello, we're here. You know, we're not a threat. We're just here to try and talk to you and make sure that you're all okay and everything else. And then she said, sister-in-law said, If there's anything you'd like to say, please tell us now. And there's a little voice, like an old lady's voice, that says pronounce. And then a much younger voice, and I'm talking like a 5 or 6 year old girl, says, and I didn't even have to change it on the audio or anything. You can hear it with your own ears. And she says, "I want something." And that was it. Blew me away. Yeah, it wasn't in the room because I was sat there, you know, and I was honestly very skeptical to start off with, but that was it. I was hooked from then on. I was going places and doing things, and got the video recorder, and I've got the green LED net lights and everything to try and find things.
Okay, so when I was about 8, I just got a dog. This was 10 years ago. It was 12 a.m. and my sister and I were playing on the computer down in the basement, and our dog was in her cage, and all of a sudden she starts growling at us and everything, and we're like, "Hey, what's up, Daisy? Why are you growling at us?" And we're like, "That's nothing," but she was like dead ass growling. And then like upstairs, glass fell off of some counter. We didn't glass counters, but glass fell and broke in the kitchen, and we're like, "Huh?" And then like a few minutes later, in the room next to us, glass fell and broke again, and we're like, "Huh?" We didn't know what was going on. It was really scary for us at the time.
My friend. Though I can recall one instance. I used to work at this movie theater. The movie theater was built in 1933. It burned down in 1943, but was rebuilt on the original structure in 1944. I worked at this theater for 7 years. And a lot of people don't know this, but what people use to clean the movie theater aisles is a leaf blower. Now, one night, I was at the movie theater on my own, cleaning up after a show. Now, I knew for a fact my manager and all my coworkers had done left for the evening. Yet I looked back and saw the cord get jerked from the wall. I did not know that anyone died in that fire in 43. Paranormal? I don't think so, but it was strange. I have been a member of the VRChat community for, I would say, about a week and a half now. Now, during this time, I heard of a world where people would go to rest, relax, and even sleep. Now, my first initial thoughts were, why on earth would anyone ever do this? Who would think that it would be a good idea to sleep with this giant toaster on your face? So, of course, I had to try it. I needed to know what I was missing. So, I usually go to bed about 3 a.m. However, that night I decided to go about 1, as I knew I would wake up at some point during the night. Now, after you have this thing on your face for a while, it is easy to forget that it's there. So believe me when I say, at 2:45 in the morning, when I was awoken to hear people talking around me, for those first few seconds, I was not okay. So I sprung up out of bed, and it took me a good 2 seconds to remember what I was doing and why. But as I did, I flailed around the bed, and when I found my controllers, I muted them, and I went back to sleep, thinking I would give it one more go. And I did, and all was well, up until about 5 a.m. And my friend, when I was awoken the next time, it was to a different noise. I woke up to the sound of shh. Now, at first I dismissed it, thinking, oh, someone was talking. They're just trying to get them to be quiet. But then it continued. And when I turned around, my friend, what I saw was horrifying. Someone was sitting behind me, stroking my head and shushing me to sleep. Now, I've seen some strange things within this community. However, that has stuck out to me ever since, because my coworker made the brilliant point of that I am not a light sleeper. So how long had they been standing there that whole time for me to have to wake up from them making that noise? The moral of this story, my friend, is do not fall asleep within VR, especially not around strangers. And that is my tale to you.
So I got a kidney transplant a few months ago, and my brother got one too, right? And it was the anniversary of my great grandmother's death. Was the day we got our transplant. My great grandmother was like really close to my mom, and like my mom's like I could just hear her saying, "Go, you go and save your kids. Go and get them a kidney and all of this." And then the other day, I had band practice, and it was like 2 hours away, right? So we were about to leave town. It was like we were about 10 minutes on the road. Then I all of a sudden I had a thought. I was like, oh shit, my kidney medicine. So I went to our doctor and I was like, yeah, we need to go back. And he was like, why? And I was like, my medication is still there. And so when we got there, he asked me, he was like, what reminded you? And I was like, I don't know, it just popped into my head. And he's like, must have been an angel or something. And I thought of my great grandmother, and I was like, probably so, yeah.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy all these spooky, scary stories, please like, comment, subscribe, all that usual shit. But guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Honestly, I do really enjoy this, making this video, this little compilation. Honestly, I feel like the VRChat community has such damn spooky stories, and I feel like we just scratched the surface. So I definitely gonna be looking more into this. But guys, if you guys definitely want to catch some more, leave a comment, let me know. Alright, I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.